Welcome to this weekly intermittent dry fasting video update. So, if you are feeling the call, your body, your spirit is telling you to dry fast, this video is for you. Or if you're just interested in learning about someone else's experience with dry fasting for, you know, motivation and support in your goals, your health goals, or your fasting goals, then that's all good too. So, thus far, for the past, since the beginning of the summer, which is the first week of June, according to my calendar, I have done 54 days of dry fasting. And it was hot. It was hot this summer. And it was hot these past couple days. But let me tell you, the water that I broke my dry fast with, because I am not a breatharian. I used to want to be, so it's like a joke. But the water that I tasted was so sweet. It was like heavenly, like divine. Like I got married to this water. It was so good. It was delicious. And I just feel so grateful and thankful for water, for life. And I think that that is, a part of the purpose of fasting, besides the whole like physical cleansing aspect. It's also like to bring a new awareness cleansing to help, the person have appreciation for things, because now I'm just like in such a deep appreciation for water. I'm like, thank you. It feels delicious and it's amazing. So, I used to think I wanted to be a breatharian because like I enjoyed dry fasting so much at one point in my journey, like about 9 years ago. And now, really not so much. I mean, it's like I love water. It is so good. But I appreciate my breatharian dry fasting days. And I'm so grateful that I participated in a breatharian healing certification program, which assisted me in some helpful techniques and breath work to get me through my dry fasting days. Now, as a disclaimer, the school teaches people the techniques so that they can get through a 8-day cleanse, and it's something that they, state that people don't necessarily have to do regularly, like maybe just once a year. And then the breath work that we did in the certification program is something that people can do all the time, whether they are fasting or not, for healing and maintaining the body regardless. So, me needing tools to assist me with my goal, which was consistency with the fasting, the breath work has been very beneficial when I do it. Now, there was some times when I was dry fasting, and I just didn't want to do nothing. That was like in the beginning, like I didn't want to do anything. And sometimes I didn't even want to do the breathing. But now I find myself to be more consistent with the breathing because it's helpful and it's beneficial to support me in my breatharian or weekly consistent dry fasting days. So, I also read in a really cool book that people are supposed to fast for 7 days for each year that they have been alive. And the deep thing about that was the synchronicity. Because last year, I kept receiving this message that I needed to do a 3-year liquid fast. And that is pretty intense. But now that I'm able to consistently weekly do my intermittent dry fasting, I see the possibility of that. I see the possibility of liquid fasting because after dry fasting, you love liquid. It's just like, thank you. And it feels so delicious and it feels so good, and you just have so much gratitude. So now my awareness has changed, and I'm like, okay, I think I can, roll out on some liquid, for some extended time, because going dry is just like you're pulling from the elements around you, and it's just like a whole nother level. Once you have some liquid in your system, it's just so easy in comparison to dry fasting, if that makes any sense. Because when you're dry fasting, you don't have anything except for your breath. And if you wash your hands, because I have to wash my hands and take a bath. I'm not that hardcore where I'm just like, I ain't washing, I ain't touching water. Then people, man, props to y'all. That's no, no. I like to wash, and I will be washing. So, and what's funny is that when I first started, I would like wash and then I would burp. I was like, oh, this is funny, like my body is absorbing liquid this way. So, but I don't burp anymore. That was just like in the beginning. But it's just funny though, because now I can see like how my body is utilizing the liquid from me washing my hands and taking a bath. Much props to all those people that do the hardcore dry fasting where they're just like, what do they call that? They call it, I don't know, super dry fasting, something like that. But you get my point. Like, they're like gangster with it because they just go without letting any liquid touch their body. So they probably can't have any children around them. And that's just like a different type of meditation. I'm definitely not there. But you know what? Like, one day though, I might like do a little bit experiment because like it seems cool, but it would definitely have to be something that I would be like stationary, because after being out in the sun today, taking care of my business and things like that, that water felt good. Like, just on my body, it just felt delicious, so I was grateful. And people that are doing the dry fasting where they're not taking in any liquids on their body at all, that's just another situation. They are really strong. More power to them, for reals, because I'm like in admiration now that I see what a struggle it is just to do a couple of days of breatharian per week or dry fasting per week, intermittent dry fasting. It's like, wow, I have a deep admiration for those people now. I'm like, wow, y'all out there just like on the strength of the universe. Oh man. So 1 day of dry fasting is equal to 3 days of liquid fasting. So when I take my little 400, what did 400? What am I talking about? My 54, and I multiply it by 3. What the hell? Now you're about to see that I don't do math in my head. If you want to teach me, then go on ahead. So 162 days of liquid fasting I have accomplished thus far. I'm proud of myself. It's fun because, cleansing and growing is fun. Like the end result, that feeling of accomplishment is fun. But of course, when you're doing it, there are some not fun moments because it was freaking hot. And I love Ra. Like, we're in love. We love each other. We are one. I love the sun. I love Ra. But dry fasting has had me like, I love you. No, it's time for me to hide behind this tree. Running from the sun. But definitely not a convict. I love that song by Saul Williams. But anyways, it's a beautiful experience. If you are feeling the call to start intermittent dry fasting, your body is telling you that you just need to stop and reset for healing, cleansing, go ahead. Listen to your body because you're going to like the results. Now, what's interesting, the reason why I brought up that book and how I had that, message last year was because those are, in synchronicity. The book, the amount of days, I did the math, the amount of days that it said that I needed to fast for my age, I'm not going to go there, but the amount of days that I needed to fast for my age and the amount of days, the 3 years, was actually like right on target. And I was like, whoa, because I had received that message months before I read the book, and the numbers were right there. So it's just interesting, how those things work. And I'm very appreciative for the grace and enlightenment in my journey, and just looking forward towards more growth. So I think that this concludes my weekly intermittent dry fasting reflection / update for your inspiration if you feel called to do so. If you've been feeling the pull, because I know last year I just kept getting this feeling like so strongly, like you need to fast. And when you get that message, it's like you already know your ancestors, the Most High, all your spiritual forces is like, hey, they talking to you. So go on ahead and listen, and you will like the results. Peace and love. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my video making by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Like, you know how y'all be spamming me in my Facebook inbox with all those videos? Spam them with mine. Peace.